From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
You're watching All-Star 15 TV. To bring you all the action from Derby, Connecticut, here is AJ Capola.
Hello everybody and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. On the broadcast tonight, we are back in Australia for the Wheels America, I am so sorry, the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs. Like I said, we are back in Australia at Winton, Victoria, Australia, the Winton Motorsport Raceway. It's a very technical race course with 12 turns. When we go green for our first feature event, I will do what I normally do and take you through the race course. Looks like there's a couple decent-sized straightaways, but when we get to the northern part of the course, from turn 5 all the way to turn 9, it is some of the windiest roads I've seen on road courses. With that being said, qualifying has begun, and Tyler Langenberg, Alexander Hammonds, Zachary Nurnberger, along with Zach Purcell, all with times. So with that being said, let's see if Purcell can possibly improve on that 119. Going into the last couple turns. Then we'll jump to James Boatman in the 205 machine. Man, gotta love hearing those F4 vehicles. And Purcell will, waiting to see the time, will actually run the exact same. So we're going to jump over to James Boatman and see what he ends up doing. Picking him right up almost the same exact time as we picked up Zach Purcell, and he's going to loop it with just 3 turns remaining. That's a unfortunate bummer, because he was looking to run a very good lap based on his couple sectors. But let's actually jump to Paul Boyle. He is on a flyer lap right now. Get about 10 minutes in qualifying. And just a refresher, if we have anybody new, Paul Boyle goes P3 with a 1:17.72 and then spins out. That's pretty much going to leave him at that P3 mark, but James Boatman looks like he got going once again. It looked like he hit that escape button, dropped all the way back to pit road, and oh! Gonna have another issue running it way wide. Into the grass, back on the racetrack, back into the dirt. See all that dirt on his race car right there. Everybody, how are you all doing on this Monday evening? We are just minutes away from starting feature number 1. I know I teased it a little bit earlier, but if you are new to the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs, this is kind of how it runs. They do practice, they do qualifying, they go into a feature event number 1 for 20 minutes. Do as many laps as you can, but be the leader at that 20-minute mark, and then plus 1 lap normally. Then we invert the top 7. So if you finish 7th, you start first, and then vice versa. Then we run the same exact course with that invert for 30 laps. Makes it very interesting. Makes it entertaining beyond belief, because you get those fast drivers that were very good in feature number 1 to then try their hand at getting back towards the front and get that overall victory outright. So it looks like we just have a couple minutes remaining. We're looking at the racetrack. The wonderful chat room on the YouTubes is open, so please feel free to blow it up. I'm looking at it. I'm watching the race, commentating on the race, because we are at Winton Motor Raceway out in Winton, Victoria, Australia. And we are going to start gridding. Everybody seemed to have finished qualifying. And here is your grid for the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs. Starting first tonight, it is Tyler Langenberg. Second goes to Sheriff Mark Dillon. Third to Paul Boyle. Fourth to Alexander Hammonds. Fifth to Zachary Nurnberger. Sixth goes to Zach Purcell. And shotgun on the field. In that 205, it is James Boatman. Just waiting for them to grid. There they are. They're starting already. That beautiful iRacing. That beautiful iRacing safety car. Looks like to be a Porsche tonight. Just missing Mark Dillon on the grid. There he is. And here we go. We're going to start the formation lap. It looks like we just have about a half a lap to go before we go green. So it's going to be very fun. 20 minutes around this 1.89 mile race course. Looks to be almost a flat race course. Drivers already trying to heat up their tires just a little bit, get some friction to that raceway. But there is the 91 of Tyler Langenberg, your pole sitter. Pace car is hitting pit road. We are getting ready to go green. Waiting for it. It's a long way down, and there we go. We are green here at Winton Motor Raceway. Gonna take this immediate left turn for turn number 1. No advancements from anybody. So far, we're still in the high-speed section of the race course. This is where I would look to see if anybody goes long and off the racetrack, but everybody makes it through really nicely. Gonna drop it back out towards that blimp so you can get a good portion of the racetrack here. So far, so good. Everybody keeping all 4 tires on the pavement. Running order is staying exactly the same as we qualified. Langenberg already up to a 0.8 second lead over Sheriff Mark Dillon. Man, this blimp view is pretty cool in my opinion. As he's going to complete 1 lap, we are going to jump on board with Mark Dillon to give you the run around Winton. So they're coming up to turn number 3 Honda corner, heading straight to Nissan corner afterwards. A little bit of a short shoot in between both. Here's turn 4. Down the footway straight. Taking that turn number 5, very sweeping left-handed turn. Up to the rollover corner, turn 6. To then turn 7. The left-handed turn right here is turn 8. Kitmo corner, turn 9. And a long straightaway. That's Shannon Straight. His left-hander, turn number 10, is Northern BM corner. Falcon Straight from 10 to 11. And then the Advanced Petroleum corner, turn 11. Pit road to your left. And then turn 12. That is a lap. And I will give it to you in its entirety right here. Oh wow, Mark Dillon goes a little hot into turn number 10 and loops his F4 vehicle. Gonna take a little while to get back on the racetrack, but let's take a look at that once again. Here we go. Little off track there, so there is some gravel, some dirt on those right side tires. He's gonna get through the little technical portion. But as he's going to head down towards turn number 10, You see it as he's going to conclude turn 8 to turn 9 right here. And as he's in turn 10, he's just going to send that number 3 F4 vehicle completely sideways. There it goes. And he's going to lose multiple positions, dropping him back to that 5th slot. Gonna go back to live here. And your leader is Tyler Langenberg, followed by Alexander Hammonds. Third goes Paul Boyle right now. Sheriff Mark Dillon has bounced back 1 spot to sit in 4th. Zach Purcell up 1 spot. Zachary Nurnberger down 1 spot, sitting in 6th. And James Boatman in that 7th spot. Right now, the fastest driver on the race course is our leader, the 91 of Tyler Langenberg. His best lap is a 1:17 flat that was ran this last time by, and through his first sector, he is already faster in his first sector, just by 0.01. What's going on, Jeffrey? How are you, dude? Hopefully your Monday is going well. Glad to see you here in the chat. Very much appreciate you being here. And these camera shots here at Winton are very nice, just as the sun's going down and everything. Gonna take a look at that number 126 Alexander Hammond's machine, giving a little bit of a tow to Paul Boyle, just about a second behind. That could come into play. And there's Mark Dillon just coming into frame, taking turn number 10 there, as they're heading towards the straight now. As Tyler Langenberg is just pulling away, almost a 5-second lead on lap number 5. That last lap for Langenberg is fastest once again at a 1:16.86. Now that's hauling the mail. That's really hauling the mail. Looks like he's really getting through the technical corners all the way from turn 5 to turn number 9 very well. And that's honestly what you need to do. You need to keep all 4 of these tires on the pavement, number 1. And number 2, hit your apexes. If you need to slow down just a tad, slow down just a tad. He's going to use the rumble strips to the right-handed side of turn 10. There goes Hammonds. There goes Paul Boyle. That gap is closing up. Just about 0.8 separating both those drivers. Paul Boyle, that last lap, takes the sector 2 fastest. So he could be putting up a good lap here. Let's see. As they cross the line, Paul Boyle almost takes the top spot with the fastest lap. He's at a 1:16.97 to the 1:16.81 for Langenberg. Looking at 12 minutes remaining in this first feature. Appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for tuning in to All-Star 15 TV and the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs event all the way in Australia. Looks like we left Australia for a week and then came back to Australia for a week. Oh no, Phillip Island. We were at Phillip Island last week, stayed in Australia, then came to Winton. Next week we go all the way to Alabama for Barber Motorsport Park. And then on the 18th, we go to Olton Park. And then to close out the season on July 25th, it is the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. So next week we are off due to the U.S.'s Independence Day. Come back July 11th to Barber Motorsports Park. 18th is Olton Park, and the 25th to close out the season, it is the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. What you guys looking forward to? Right now we are at Winton, and boy oh boy is Langenberg flying. Still about a 5.5 second lead. That's almost there, it is. But he is really moving, using every part of this race course. Looks like Mark Dillon might have had another issue. Let's go back and take a look at that. Oh, he is well off the track already. So let's hit that good old rewind button. And here he goes. He's just going to gas up too soon, clip that gravel like he did a couple laps ago, and that just sends him flying towards the inside part of the track. He's just going to stay in the gas. Zach Purcell is going to get by him. I'm going to clean off those tires and get her going. Because that will give you a lot of tire wear, just being in the dirty stuff. Alright, let's go back to live television. There's your race leader, the driver of the 91, Tyler Langenberg. Puts down a fastest lap once again, a 1:16.81. Man, that guy is just burning a rubber. Just about 8.5 minutes remaining. We're going to go back and look at Alexander Hammonds and Paul Boyle because that looks to be very close to heating up. Going to jump on board. Oh, as I say, heat up. Alexander Hammonds feels the heat and spins out. Paul Boyle able to drive right along by. Hammonds in danger. He's not in any danger. Zach Purcell is 8 seconds back. So we're actually going to jump on board with Alexander Hammonds and see what could have caused that. Going to see his hands and everything. Going to back it up a little further to give you guys a little bit of a run into it. Here he goes. Ooh. I don't think he was coming to pit road, but he was taking that corner extra wide. Gonna get it going. And watch those tires just remove all that dirt from running. Does create a lot of tire wear. Can still see Paul Boyle in front of him. But now there's just about an 8.5 second and growing gap in between both drivers. Gonna actually drop back now to Zach Purcell because Zach Purcell has Sheriff Mark Dillon right on his back wing, closing in fast. Look at that drop. James Boatman having an issue. Let's go back and see this. Gonna back it up just a little bit. Here we go. Where is he gonna have this issue? Right here. You saw the back end just get a little happy and just spin right out. Looks like Zachary Nurnberger also with an issue. Gonna see him in that 32. He has Boatman right behind him. This was earlier on when he's just gonna misjudge the turn completely. Tyler Langenberg still extending that lead up to almost 7.5 seconds over Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle now actually runs a faster lap on lap 11, a 1:16.57. Wow, that is quick. He's almost set up to do it all over again as you see Langenberg start closing in on Zachary Nurnberger. With almost 4.5 minutes remaining. How are y'all doing tonight? Got a couple people watching. I already saw Jeffrey. Glad he's doing all right. If you can, hit that like button. Subscribe to All-Star 15 if you haven't yet. And hey, if you're on the social medias, hit that share button. Share it out. Always looking for some new people to join the channel, join the chat. Got some cool things coming very shortly for the channel, which I can't tell you yet, but it involves other forms of entertainment. Mostly video games, but yes. Under 4 minutes remain. Langenberg is actually moving slightly slower than before, and Paul Boyle has it under 7 seconds. Might not be enough with just about 3.5 minutes remaining, but pretty good for Paul Boyle to get it close to under 7 seconds. Because all it takes is a mistake by that 91, and we could see Paul Boyle winning the first feature. But it looks like Alexander Hammonds has taken that vehicle to pit road. Ooh, issue with Sheriff Mark Dillon. Says he went off track for an extended period of time. Oh, there he goes. And, ooh, Zach Purcell as well. Let's see this. Ooh, holy, what a jump. And then he's going to create his own grass cutting services. Zachary Nurnberger, and it looks like James Boatman. Zachary Nurnberger right in front of Tyler Langenberg has an issue. Is he just going to loop it? He is. Ooh, Langenberg is going to cut to the inside and run over those rumble strips and bumps. Yikes. Let's see if that hurts the lead at all. Just about a half a second difference. Two minutes remain. We're looking at 2 more laps as he crosses the line right there. 6.2 separating Langenberg and Paul Boyle. Closing it down to... Ooh, now he's extending it. Oh, he got through that chicane on the front stretch very well. Issue with Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle goes off track trying to grab way too much. There he goes. He's going to clip that dirt and it's going to send him. Not too awful, but almost 3.5 seconds is 3.5 seconds to the leader. It's very unfortunate for that 14. Still looking to finish in that second position in feature number 1, but could have made it just a little bit closer. It looks like we are getting that white flag in the air. Tyler Langenberg taking that white flag in the first feature at Winton. Now Langenberg getting through the technical portion of the racetrack like he's been doing all night tonight. Looks absolutely flawless. Doing a very good job keeping all four tires underneath him, clipping the dirt just a little bit, heading to turn 11 for the final time in feature number 1. And here we go. Checkered flag in the air. Feature number 1 winner, Tyler Langenberg. Number 2, as he's coming out of turn 12, will be Paul Boyle. Sheriff Mark Dillon, quite a ways back. Now finally coming out of the final turn, heading towards the line. Podium position in feature number 1, Mark Dillon. Zach Purcell crossing the line for P4. James Boatman very, very slow. And I think we might actually be done. All right, let's show you the results for feature number 1. Tyler Langenberg, Paul Boyle, Sheriff Mark Dillon, Zach Purcell in 4th, 5th, James Boatman, Zachary Nurnberger, and Alexander Hammonds rounds out the top 7. All right. Well, now as they're doing the warm-up, they get 5 minutes to get ready for the half-hour feature number 2 event. But why don't I preview something on the channel just a little bit later? At 9:15, myself and TJ Barnier will be going live from Richmond Raceway for the Extreme Forces Racing League, their ARCA division, running 140 laps around that 0.75 mile racetrack. The cheerleaders, Barber and Lounge 140. So, if you enjoy racing, got some time to kill, come hang out with us. But until then, we got the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs, and they are gridding for feature number 2. Let's see it. Alexander Hammonds is going to start on pole, followed by Zach Purcell in 2nd. 3rd goes to James Boatman. 4th, Zach Purcell. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed that completely up. We're going to hit that rewind button and go all right back. On the pole for feature number 2, it is Alexander Hammonds. Zachary Nurnberger is going to start in 2nd. 3rd goes to James Boatman. Zach Zach Purcell in 4th. Sheriff Mark Dillon in 5th. 6th goes to Paul Boyle, and 7th is your feature number 1 winner, Tyler Langenberg. Hey, if NBC can mess up, if Steve Letarte can, or I think it was Steve Letarte or Rick Allen can mess up with calling Alex Bowman Jimmy Johnson, I can get Zachary's mixed up. But here we go, everybody. This is going to be entertaining. 30 minutes on the board. We're at Winton Motor Raceway here in Winton, Victoria, Australia. The last 2 weeks we've been out here down under in Australia. It's going to be a lot of fun when we head back stateside to Barber Motorsports Park in 2 weeks. Next week we are celebrating and observing Independence Day. But here we go. Alexander Hammonds leading the field towards the green flag. Green is in the air. Gets a heck of a launch. So does Zachary Nurnberger. We're going to take a lap around with the 126 Alexander Hammonds. Here we go. Everybody getting through the field very well. Still on board with Alexander Hammonds. And as he's heading towards turn number 10, you see his braking and shifting points. Looking to be very fast for feature number 2. Big incident in the back of the field. Zach Purcell having an issue. Same thing with Mark Dillon going off track. So let's see what ends up happening on lap 1, towards the end of lap 1 actually. Gonna keep it in that blimp cam so you guys can see it in its entirety. Just a checkup. That's what it looks like, and unfortunately, Mark Dillon can't get slowed up in time as they were heading towards turn 11 and now through turn 12. But leading right now, it's still Alexander Hammonds with almost a 4-second lead over Zachary Nurnberger and James Boatman. Langenberg is closing in. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. Usually we do have pit stops in this second feature, so I'm very curious to see when everybody takes that pit stop. Mark Dillon with another issue. You can see it on your screen. Ooh, he's just going to put too much throttle into it coming out of the final turn and loop it. Very unfortunate there. I'm going to drop him all the way back into that 7th position with a lot of ground to make up now that he's 20 seconds back from Alexander Hammonds. But Langenberg is absolutely flying from 7th to 2nd in under 3 laps. Now all he has to worry about is that car in front of him that he is closing in on. or was closing in on, is Alexander Hammonds. But there is a good group of cars right behind him. That's Zachary Nürnberger and Paul Boyle in the 14. Paul Boyle probably trying to get a little bit better of a result. He did spin out at the end of feature number 1, which he was closing in on Langenberg. And closing in on Langenberg fast, probably was still going to run out of time. Ooh, evasive maneuvers going into turn number 5 here. Looks like Nürnberg is just going to let the 14 of Paul Boyle go. Probably a smart move with how fast they were going there. But we're going to do a Crank It Up, powered by the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. Let's go do a Crank It Up. And we are back after that Crank It Up, powered by the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. With just about 22 and a half minutes remaining, your leader still is Alexander Hammonds. Second place goes to Tyler Langenberg, just about 4.3 seconds back. Zachary Nürnberger sitting in third, almost 12 seconds back from Hammonds. Fourth is Paul Boyle, 15 seconds back. James Boatman sitting in fifth, 17 and a half seconds back. Zach Purcell sitting about 19 seconds back. But Sheriff Mark Dillon had to jump to pit road, so let's show you what happened here with the number 3. Ooh, he's just gonna overcook it, spin it. Doesn't look like he hits anything, but has to jump to pit road to get repairs. Very unfortunate there, as he is still on pit road. There you go. That's how we find drivers here. They weren't populating for a second. Langenberg has gotten that lead down to 4 seconds. Start looking for pit stops right around that 12 to 15 minute mark in. So trying to maybe cut it halfway. Usually they do have to pit in this second feature. With it being a half hour long, a lot of drivers throughout the whole year have been aiming for that 12 to 15, and if you're really trying to stretch it, that 17-minute mark. But a lot of strategy does come into play. Do you take tires? Do you not take tires? Do you just take fuel? So there's a lot to think about when you pit and what you do with that pit stop. But it looks like Zachary Nurnberger in that 32 already on pit road. There he is there. Now that he's left pit road, it was on there for about 30 seconds. So he really came in, looks like early. We just reached that 10-minute mark. So I'm really wondering if that's going to work out, if he's going to be able to make the next 20 minutes without having to pit once again. And it looks like that number 3 of Mark Dillon has taken it back to the hauler and is probably getting ready to go stateside. Hammond still your leader. We're going to actually take it on board with Tyler Langenberg. Gonna jump on that gyro cam for the first time tonight. See the little bit of cornering we do have if there's any banking, as he's trying to catch that 126 Ford of Alexander Hammond's. Which he definitely did, with Hammond's going off track just a tad. 3 seconds now separates both drivers. I can hear it now. Hear kitty, kitty. I think that was a Tony Stewart reference. But coming out of turn number 9, heading to turn number 10 at full speed. Gonna take this right-angled turn to the left. Under 3 seconds now. Langenberg putting down a very fast lap. Puts it down into second, up to third, back to second. A lot of shifting here around this 1.89 mile road course. And that last lap, big difference between Hammonds and Langenberg. Langenberg runs a 1:16.92 to Hammonds' 1:18.01. That has a lot to do with that off-track incident that Hammonds had with, issue with Zach Purcell. Oh boy, let's go see what happens to that 51 machine. Here it is on your screen right now. It also allows Paul Boyle to get by that 51. Oh, he's just going to have too much speed. Doesn't do a lot of damage. Waits for Boyle to get by. Gets back on the racetrack and then continues. Jumping it back towards the leaders. There's the gap right there. Going to put up on the screen the battle box between the two. That is thy wrong battle box. There you go. There's the difference between lap times. Along with their gap. You see how at 5 laps, Hammonds and Langenberg's distance was right around 4.5, and how it's slowly, gradually gotten lower. So it's all really about consistency. And right now, tonight, that 91 of Langenberg has been the most consistent driver out on the race course. And now we're going to check out the sector times, because Hammond put down a fantastic sector 1 there, purple or pink, depending on how you view colors. And Langenberg, huge incident, very huge incident. Langenberg crashes in the final turn. Oh, no. We're going to do a far chase cam. And I'm going to have to see this with my own eyes here. Looks like he was coming the pit road. Which he does come the pit road. I viewed it very wrong. I just want to... I forgot that it did it like that. And I'll show you. I think, what were we on, 1 or 2? I think we were on 2. Now watch. It looks like he goes straight into the wall. Yeah, there he goes. It looks like he was going straight into the wall. And completely forgot there was pit road over there. So yes, it would be a great time for pit stops. As Alexander Hammonds. I crack myself up with these little tiny mistakes. I forgot pit road does that, and just out of the corner of like the screen, I see that red and blue 91 just right into the wall, and I'm like, oh no, he just crashed. But that last lap, Hammonds puts down an absolute blazer at a 1:16.71. Has the fastest lap by 2/10, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're consistently running lap after lap after lap, could end up being a lot. But he currently has a lead over Paul Boyle right around that 24-second mark. Should be interesting when we're really going to see the rest of the pit stops. We're watching leader Alexander Hammonds in that number 126 Ford F4 car. Should be coming to pit road very shortly. And no, he's going to stay out. On your screen, it's showing when everybody last hit pit road, if they have or not. And it looks like only 2 drivers have. Zachary Nurnberger and Tyler Langenberg. It's going to be very interesting to see what and when Hammonds, Boyle, Purcell, and Boatman all hit pit road. Also, do they take tires? Do they not take tires? That is the question. Still watching him as he's taking the little finesse corners up at the northern part of the racetrack. At least I think it's northern. Northern or western? Kind of hard to tell when you're on a sim. But heading towards turn number 10. Still watching this battle here. Honestly, the only battle on the track. And no, he's going to stay out once again. Interesting. Very interesting. Everybody doing a really good job right now, keeping everything on the racetrack. Fastest lap of the race now goes to Tyler Langenberg in that 91, upping Hammonds is plus 2/10 to go up 2.5 tenths at a 1:16.51. And he is very much closing in on Paul Boyle for that second position. And we're going to jump back to Alexander Hammonds to see if he's going to end up hitting pit road here or not. Coming through the last turn. No, staying out once again, jumping it back to Paul Boyle and Tyler Langenberg, as Langenberg is doing a really good job trying to close in on that second position. Out of turn number 10, heading to turn 11. You can see that blue, white, and red 91 machine right behind him. And staying out once again. Hammonds now one-ups Langenberg for fastest lap. And they are just trading punches here, back and forth. That 126 and that 91 are both, I want fastest? No, I want fastest. Langenberg crosses the line. He goes fastest once again at a 1:16.26. Wow. That is, those are qualifying laps, people. But we're waiting to see when Hammonds and Boyle both hit pit road, and does it result with Langenberg then taking the lead. Right now there's 23 and a half seconds separating Hammonds and Boyle, and 26 and a half seconds separating Hammonds and Langenberg. So everybody, I can see we have a couple people watching right now. What are your thoughts on this long run strategy by Hammonds and Boyle, staying out as long as they can? Do you think it'll pay off, or do you think it might bite them in the butt? You see their pit strategy stint length on your screen. Both 16 laps have yet to pit. Zach Purcell hasn't pit yet. James Boatman also yet to pit. So what are your thoughts? How do you think it is going to work? There goes Hammonds out of turn number 10. Gonna see if he hits pit road. If not, we're gonna drop it back to Paul Boyle and Tyler Langenberg. Oh, he's gonna stay out once again. Gonna drop it back to Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle has just about a 2.5 second lead over Tyler Langenberg. That 91 is coming for that second spot. Closing in very much so. 14 going to hit pit road. Yes, he is. He's going to give up that second position to hit pit road. Langenberg up to P2. Only one position away, and in between it is Alexander Hammonds, your race leader. Can Langenberg bunny hop to P1 when Hammonds hits that pit road? Or are we going to have an absolute dog fight to the finish with just about 7 minutes remaining? Langenberg has James Boatman right in front of him. Gonna have to make easy work out of it. Alexander Hammonds now on pit road. All right, let's see. We're gonna drop it all the way to the blimp cam. Out of turn number 10. Let's see the difference on the racetrack. Boatman sliding through the grass out of the first turn. He's in a wreck. You saw that. And Langenberg is going to pass the line right in front of him. There he is. Top of your screen. Alexander Hammonds with a 3-second lead over Tyler Langenberg. Gonna jump on board with Langenberg for just about a lap to see how he closes in, if any, on that 126 Ford machine. All right, you guys see that lead still under 3 seconds, but it looks like Langenberg is slipping just a tad due to having slightly worn tires. It's going to be very interesting with just minutes remaining. Does Hammonds have an issue, or does Langenberg dig deep in those tires and make them perform? Because the talent's there. The talent is behind the wheel, but do the tires have the life in them to get to Alexander Hammonds as he flashes out? Still about 3 seconds in between both drivers. As they hit the line in just moments, I'll tell you their last lap times. I'll let you be the judge of the distances. All right. Alexander Hammonds, your race leader, a 1:16.29 to Langenberg's 1:16.26. That might not get you there. Might make it very close, but we are just 3.5 minutes away from crowning a winner in Feature 2 and crowning Langenberg as overall winner tonight. A lot of smoke on the racetrack. Is that Hammonds is doing? Is he locking up his tires? Because that lead has completely dissolved to 2.5 seconds. It was over 3 seconds. There's the gap right there on your screen as they're heading right towards you. Heading to the north portion of the track right now, because shadows are a wonderful thing. Under 2.5 seconds. Langenberg hits a 1:15. A minute 15.99. A half a second faster than Hammonds. Like I said, he was going to have to dig deep. And oh boy, has he so far. Right now through Sector 1 and Sector 2, he is really hauling the mail once again. Under 2 seconds. We will have, looks like to be one more lap following this. We'll see what time they get by Barney, the flagman. Wow. Under 2 seconds, 1.77 and closing. Should start to feel a little pull now. Let's see, does he improve? He does. A 115.91. Gets even faster now that the race is getting towards the end. White flag is not out, so they will have 2 more laps. Oh, this is getting good. What is going to happen between both these drivers? Hammonds, Langenberg, something has to give. Oh, he's going to lock up those tires. Going to give up a little bit of time just to make the turn. No, he's on fresh tires, but that's not good locking up like that. .3 separating both. Coming to the white flag. Just a second. Oh no, this is the checkered. It never told me white flag. And there it is. Alexander Hammonds wins feature number 2. I gotta go back because it never told me white flag. It did not. Okay. Well, Alexander Hammonds wins feature number 2, but Langenberg will get the overall victory. Paul Boyle looking to get past the line. With just 2 turns remaining. He's going to finish 3rd in feature number 2. Zachary Nurnberger. Just a little bit of a delay back to that, but he is battling with Zach Purcell coming to the line. But here are the results of the feature event. Tyler Langenberg, that's the heat. I wanted feature. Show me feature. Thank you for showing me feature. Alexander Hammonds wins feature number 2. Followed by Tyler Langenberg. Paul Boyle gonna finish in 3rd. Zachary Nurnberger in 4th. 5th goes to Zach Purcell. James Boatman in 6th. And Sheriff Mark Dillon gonna round out the field in 7th. Overall winner tonight, it is Tyler Langenberg. Let's see, do we have anybody in the waiting room? Let's talk to Alexander Hammonds. Hey, Alexander Hammonds, it is AJ Capola in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, pal?
I got you loud and clear.
Well, that might not be a good thing to some people, but dude, what a heck of a drive this second feature. Looked like a lot of strategy really came into play with waiting till about 7 minutes to go before finally hitting pit road. Was that the plan all along, or were you just rolling with the punches because it looked to be the winning strategy?
Yeah, that's the plan I usually go with for these feature races we have to pit. Um, it it always feels to me like the cars are a bit faster on low fuel than they are on high fuel, so I try and work that into my strategy for the races.
Yeah, dude, you guys definitely made it entertaining. By you guys, I mean you and Tyler Langenberg. Getting it all the way down to just under a second. If there were a couple more laps, I was about ready to go make some popcorn because it was about to get good. But in 2 weeks, we go back to stateside, the Barber Motorsports Park. Got anything about leaving Australia and now heading back to the U.S.?
It's just gonna feel good to drive on a track I'm familiar with after driving here. I just downloaded this track right before the session opened, and I mean I think that explains a lot of my driving in that first session there.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were just feeling out the racetrack in that first feature, and but you guys did a fantastic job. It was very much entertaining. It's going to be interesting to see what this week gap, because we do celebrate and observe Independence Day next week. So I think a lot of people are going to take that time to relax, maybe jump on sim and practice for Barber Motorsports Park, because I hear that can be a very grueling and tough course to get around.
Yeah, it really can be. Luckily, I have some experience there with well, not in this car, but the F3 car we drove there last season. Um, it's a really challenging and technical course, but it seemed to favor my driving style last time we went there, so hopefully it does again.
All right, dude. Well, I will let you go. Any sponsors you want to plug before we send you off to the plane?
Nah, I ain't got any sponsors. Just thank you for hosting a great broadcast, and thank you to Mark and the guys for putting on a great race. Enjoy it every week, and I guess I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time.
All right, that is Alexander Hammond. See you later, pal.
See ya.
All right, let's bring up the overall winner of the evening, Tyler Langenberg. Hey, Mr. Overall Winner, how are you doing, pal? Do you read us loud and clear?
I got a copy. Hello.
Hey, holy cow. If we had another lap or two, I was about to go get some popcorn and get really excited to watch you and Hammonds get going with that, because you got it down to point 0.8. I thought there was going to be another lap, but apparently not. I was wrong. But you were fast in both Feature 1 and Feature 2. Does this racetrack, Winton Motor Raceway, kind of go towards your wheelhouse of where you kind of like to drive, very fast straights but very tight corners?
I will give this track. It is fun to hot lap, but it is absolutely terrible to race without like fenders or anything. So I can see why the Aussie supercars like this track.
Well, yeah, because those things have fenders and they can keep bouncing and beating, and it's very entertaining to watch, even just on YouTube when you're not watching it live. But you put on a hell of a show. Hammond seems to like waiting and waiting to pit. I don't know if that was the winning strategy for him, but man, you were driving your butt off. You were amazing to watch, hitting almost every apex at speed. We're going stateside in 2 weeks, going to Barber Motorsports Park. Is there anything you could take from the little Australia tour to Barber Motorsports next week? In 2 weeks?
Hmm. I'm not sure. I didn't even know Barber was next week, but
It's,
anything else, that's
it's
a
in
nice
2
track.
weeks. I apologize.
2 weeks? Oh well, in 2 weeks, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I
You,
like-
you seem to always be
I-
fast.
I do like Barber. I don't know how it is in the F4 or how it is to follow there, like here. But yeah, today it was. Even if I had got to him, it would have been super hard to stay with him. Like you said, I got down to within a second right at the end, and if he didn't have pole for the feature, I felt like I could have had it.
Yeah, you were definitely hauling the mail, and you guys were trading fastest laps for like the last 10 laps. So it was a bunch of bunny hopping and one upping, and it made it absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
All right, Tyler. Any sponsors that you want to plug before we let you go here tonight?
Not really. Just shout out to the D-Line guys. Once again, shout out to them.
All right. All right, brother. Yeah, they were in the chat, so we'll see you in 2 weeks at Barber Motorsport Park. Until then, have a nice Independence Day and relax on your week off.
Yep. I'll see you.
See ya. All right, that was our overall winner, Tyler Langenberg. And let's bring up Mr. P3, Paul Boyle. Hey, Mr. Paul Boyle, how are you doing, pal? I very much appreciate you sticking around, letting me get through 2 other interviews before yourself. How are you doing, pal? How'd your race go?
Man, that was a tough one. And that course is just turn after turn and hairpin after hairpin it feels, and so I was looking forward to having some actual practice before and being the most practiced man in the field, and it just everyone caught up to me by the end of the race there.
Yeah, it looks like a very tough race course. There's never really a break. You have 2 straightaways, and those are on the front stretch. And other than that, it's left turn, right turn, right turn, left turn the whole rest of the way, upshifting and downshifting. No break for nobody. But, you know, in the second feature, you do come away with a 3rd place. You know, the last 2 races were both Australia races. You know, I think it was Summit Point and now here at Winton. Is there anything that you can take from this Australia little tour that you guys did and bring it to Barber in 2 weeks? Or what you do down under stays down under?
I hope what happens down under doesn't stay down under. I'm finding some good pace out here, and my results throughout the whole season have been definitely towards the upper edge, and I'm very thankful for that. But no, I've loved these last 2 weeks. They've been great fun, and I don't think there's much to take away. Everyone's kind of just taking it every week as it comes, and so on to the next one.
Well, you out of maybe a handful of drivers are extremely fun to watch because you can go off course about 4 times and then still be around at the finish and be like, how did he do that? But, you know, it just shows how good of a F4 driver in this open wheel for amateur series you are. And I'm very much excited to see what everybody does with a week off in preparation for Barber Motorsports Park. Mr. Boyle, do you have any sponsors you'd like to plug before we let you go relax for the evening?
Only the team that I race for, Pony Express, still supporting this league or creating this league and supporting me in every race I do. Always great fun racing for them, and I've loved it every step of the way. And then, like always, my dad, my number 1 fan, he's just he's out in France at the moment, recovering from a lovely race he's just run. So congratulations to him on finishing an Ironman triathlon in the week, and
Oh, wow.
I hope to see you soon, bud.
Well, congratulations on finishing that as well, Mr. Boyle, if I may so say myself, because you wouldn't see me running or doing any of that stuff. All right, dude. Well, have a nice week off. Stay safe, stay cool. Can't wait to see you at Barber Motorsports Park.
Have a good weekend, AJ.
All right, everybody. That was fast. Pony Express always puts on a heck of a show, and can't wait for Barber Motorsports Park in 2 weeks. But until then, everybody have a safe rest of your week. Have a very responsible 4th of July. Looking at you, JPP. We don't need any more explosions. But until then, everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay cool, stay safe. And we'll see you on the next broadcast. Peace.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.